everybody, this is Green Spirit. Welcome back to my channel. So today is the day. It's the day you've all been waiting for, all of you who submitted for the giveaway, and I will be getting to that in a minute. First of all, I want to apologize for a little bit of the delay. Essentially, yesterday I wanted to do the video, but something kind of occurred that prevented me from really being in the space to be happy, and so I decided to postpone it until today. And then I've been really busy today, so today is actually the next day. It's already past midnight when I'm making this video, but I really wanted to go ahead and do it because I know that those of you who entered my giveaway are anxiously awaiting to see who the winner is. So how this went down is if you can see back there, I have a mortar and pestle with a little kitchen witch in it, and when I put her, she's standing on the pestle portion. It made me think of Baba Yaga, and I didn't even anticipate the resemblance when I put her on there, because I've had that little kitchen witch for several years and I named her Guri. But when I put her on the little mortar and pestle, it just like the imagery, that's the first thing I thought of. But I took my mortar and pestle because it's quite big and deep, and that's how I did the drawing. I put all of your names in little teeny pieces of paper, and I asked the universe, please let me pick the perfect winner for this. And so that's how I came up with this. So everyone had an equal opportunity, and we didn't have as many entries as I anticipated. So each of you who entered had a very good chance, but there is one winner. So I'm going to go really quickly through what you're going to get. And then also after I announce who the winner is, I also want to show you something I did last night. It's a new, technically, page for my Book of Shadows. I will be doing an update video on my Book of Shadows. I had kind of hinted that my Book of Shadows looks very drastically different since even just earlier this year when I started the YouTube Pagan Challenge. It's changed quite drastically. So I will be doing an update video soon, but I do want to show you something I did for it. Maybe it'll give you an idea for yourself. So that, without further ado, I'm going to do a little drum roll. Okay, so what you will be receiving is this bottle of Solar Eclipse Charged Water. As you can see, there's a little quartz point crystal in there, crystal quartz. And I don't know if the camera is catching this, but this water is tinged pink because of the pink Himalayan salt. So you'll be getting that. And then, of course, the deck, the tarot deck. This is the book that comes along with it. I'll try to, oh, it's kind of reflecting, but it is really a gorgeous deck. Honestly, it was, once I went through the deck again, the imagery is so beautiful that I wish, how do I put this? The imagery I could have used on its own, but I really feel like this deck was not necessarily made for me. I think I was meant to give it away. So, because even though I've had this deck for a while, I've barely used it, which means that something wasn't clicking, and I really feel like it belonged to somebody else for their own purposes, and maybe that person can't afford going and getting a deck. I don't know what their situation is, but I have a feeling that this was a deck that was meant to be given away. So again, here is the cover of it. It's the Green Witch's Tarot. I'm going to show you the back. And it's a nice, thick book, which is lovely. Most books, you know, when you get tarot, sometimes you get these big books, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just get a little pamphlet. I don't know. I don't know if you're going to be able to see anything. There are pictures for every one of the cards, which is really cool. It's all in black and white. And then also in this book, if you saw, there we go. There are places for you to put your own interpretations of the card, which is cool. I'm going to open, and Okay, so this deck, some decks, like Oracle card decks, they usually come in a sturdy box so that you can store your cards. This deck did not come with that. It came with a very kind of flimsier box. So I went ahead and put it in this black pouch, which I will keep them in when I send them to you. And then it's plain, it's black. I mean, you can do whatever it is that you want to do with the bag or change it up or whatever. But here is the deck. It's got this beautiful pentagram with the roses on, I don't know if the camera is catching this, but it's got like a green door. And I'm going to show you some of the cards. This is the Sikh. Ooh. This is nature. I think he's meant to be represented, if I remember correctly, the devil. So it's not like a traditional Rider-Waite. It's a little bit different. Here is the High Priestess. Oh, I wish I wasn't getting that reflection. So really, it's a beautiful deck. I hope the winner enjoys it. I really do. I think you will. So, without further ado, the winner of my 150 plus 1 subscribers is Moonstar Gem. Moonstar Gem, you won! Yay! So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my email at the bottom of this video. Go ahead and shoot me an email, and then I will get your information, and I will go ahead and send you this, what you won. Just go ahead and leave me, obviously, your information. And I cannot mail this today because technically today is Monday and it's Labor Day here in the United States. And because it is, the postal service isn't working today. So I will have to send it on Tuesday, at the very latest Wednesday. It will just depend on my schedule. But leave me your information, and then I will go ahead and send this to you. And congratulations! Thank you all for entering the giveaway. I really feel truly touched and blessed that you cared enough to do so. And I plan to do a giveaway again at some point in time. I haven't really decided what my number of subscribers will be when I decide to go ahead and do the second giveaway, but I will keep you posted when I decide to do so. So once again, congratulations, Moonstar Gem. Okay? All right, now I just want to quickly give you kind of, I just want to show this because I think it came out kind of cool. But this is a new page that I've added to, I'm going to add it to the back of my book of shadows. And I bent it because that's the way it's going to fit best, just because I've made this a reversible, I'm just going to call it an Oracle page. I think that's the best thing that I can do. So this page was done on mixed media paper from a big old sketchbook that I have. And I went ahead and found 2 images that I liked online. I printed them both in black and white, and then one of the images I went back and painted with metallics or like other like normal color, and then I added metallics to it. It was acrylic. And then what I did, everything else besides those 2 images that I printed out and one I painted the whole thing myself. Some of the images, like I painted some roses on here. Those are done by hand. Those are freehand. Everything else is pretty much freehand. And then what happens is I've also, after I painted everything, I covered it in Mod Podge, excuse me, the matte. And what happens when you do that, what it does is it kind of seals and binds to the paper, so it no longer feels like paper. It honestly feels like pleather. And it becomes very durable, very sturdy, and if you were to, for example, drop water on it, you could actually take a towel and just wipe it off. So it kind of protects whatever you wrote or drew on there or painted. So without further ado, I decided that I wanted to put a spirit board in my Book of Shadows for a while, and also a pendulum board. I'm not going to show my Book of Shadows quite yet because I do want to make a video for it. But basically, my intent had been to cover two, that it would be one big image covering 2 sheets of paper. Well, when I went into the schematics of it, I realized, that the binding or the middle of the book would kind of make it hard for me to use a planchette that I've created on it, because it would cut into some of the letters or some of the imagery. So I decided it's not going to work that way. I'm going to have to do it some different way. So I went ahead and did it. So now I'm going to show you. Okay. So first I'm going to show you the spirit board portion. And as you can see, it's been folded because it folds in like this. Okay. And do you guys hear that? It doesn't even sound like paper anymore. It honestly feels like leather. And see how it looks like it reflects? It's like not normal paper anymore. But I went ahead and I found this image online of this beautiful crow. As you know, it's my totem animal. And then I like it because it has a feather. This is like a holy stone. And then you've got a bone, another stone. This is, I don't know if the camera can capture it, but it's an antler. You've got a cowrie shell for the goddess, and then a chicken foot. And it was part of a poem, but I just used the image, and then I printed it on black and white, and then okay, so that's a tip that I have for you guys. If you guys ever print out images, I don't know, unless you have a really high quality printer, you'll notice that most of your images look like you printed them off the internet, okay? Which is fine, and I have images like that. However, I feel like if you manually take to whatever image you're doing, like for example, I printed this image and it looked like I printed it off the internet. To fix some of that and make it look more organic, what I did is I went through this with pen. There's a certain kind of pen that I use when I work in my Book of Shadows. It's my favorite kind of pen. I don't want to get one right now, but maybe I'll show it when I do my Book of Shadows video. But I went and instead of just leaving the image and decoupaging it on here, I went in and I took the time to draw lines onto this crow so it gives it a hand-drawn quality. And then I went through this whole image and did the same thing to it. Like I went ahead and put in strokes so that if you were to look at it like I'm looking at it in the light, you can actually see the strokes of my pen. It makes it look much better. It makes it look more organic, more handmade, instead of just an image that you printed off the internet. So that's what I did. And then down here, I wrote in runes a certain message of protection, because spirit boards, you want to make sure that you either add a sigil, like a protection sigil to them, or words of power, or a spell, or something that denotes protection, that only good entities could come through, and messages of good entities can come through. And also, since I work with angels, I also enlisted the help of Archangel Michael, who is a destroyer of evil. So that's I petitioned him, and then I put his name in angelic language. Okay, so that's what I did, and I really liked how it turned out. I gotta say, I like making spirit boards. If you've seen my video, it's one of the earlier videos I did this year when I first started the YouTube Pagan Challenge. You'll see my physical wooden spirit board that I made. I just enjoy making them. I think they're a lot of fun. Okay, now for the planchette. Okay, I'm kind of proud of this because I thought it was such a good idea. So obviously this is going to go in my book of shadows, and as much as I'm doing very much a artistic book of shadows, there's a lot of textures and different elements that I add to it. If you've seen my previous book of shadows video, you know that I have agates, like flat agates stuck into the pages. I've got sand in there. I've got all kinds of stuff in there. But having said that, the idea of actually putting a planchette is not really feasible, and like a normal planchette. So what I went ahead and did, so first of all, I should mention that once you put the decoupage medium onto your paper, it makes it so slick. It makes it very easy to glide on, which is awesome. Exactly what you need for a little planchette, okay? So what I went ahead and did is I went onto Google and I Googled planchettes. Well, I found this image of a piece of jewelry, and it was like about maybe a little bit bigger than this one. It was a little piece of silver jewelry that was a little planchette, and I loved it. So I blew it up to the size of a planchette, and then, okay, so like this crow that I did want it to be a little bit raised. So this is one sheet of paper, and then I took the same kind of paper and I glued it or decoupaged the crow image onto another sheet of paper to make it thicker, okay? So I did the same thing with the planchette. I found the image, I blew it up, I decoupaged it onto another thicker piece of paper of the mixed media paper, and this is what it is. And because I printed it, I mean, look at this stone. It's obviously flat. There's not a real stone, but it looks so real. And because this was like a piece of moonstone in the jewelry, and because the fact that it was a piece of jewelry, it looks so real. Like if I tilt it like this, you guys think that it looks like a real thing. It's just amazing, right? Okay, so the only thing is that when you decoupage a piece of paper, if you stick two sides of decoupage together, and I will go through that when I go through my book of shadows with you, sometimes you get a little bit of stickiness. So the pages stick, they don't like disrupt any of what you've written or your images or anything like that, but they make this kind of stickiness to them. Well, I couldn't have that because I needed it to slide smoothly onto my paper. So what I did is I did decoupage the top because I like how decoupage, one, makes it smooth and nice, but also it like makes more bold the color, okay, whatever color you have. So I thought, what am I going to do for the bottom? Because I don't want it to have any kind of resistance or tackiness. So I had some contact paper. First of all, I cut this hole out, okay, so that this then becomes a window so you can see my thumb. Okay, so I cut this out, and then on the back or on the bottom, I did put contact paper on it. So it's then super slick. I went back and I put another piece of contact paper on here, so then it created a window. And now, when I'm using my spirit board, you can see the letters. Yay! I did this last night. I had like this moment of inspiration, and really I am a night person. I am like a night owl. I do have to wake up early because I have a child. He's actually out of town with his dad today. But usually, like, I have to wait till everyone goes to sleep so that I can create and do art and do whatever it is that I want to do. But I am in general much more of a night person. I am awake. I'm wide awake right now. I'm probably going to do some more art, work in my book, something, okay? So I had this moment of inspiration about 11 o'clock last night. I'm like, should I start it? Should I even bother? So I was up ridiculously late, which means that I also slept in, even though I had all this stuff to do, you know. But anyway, I just had to share that with you, okay? Now, I did make this reversible, okay? So now I'm going to reverse it. And on the other side, I have a pendulum board that I created. This image right here, I feel quite proud of myself for this because, you know, when you have those moments of inspiration and it's like a bolt of lightning. That's how I feel. It's like a bolt of lightning. So I saw this image. I found it on Pinterest of this beautiful crystal with these flowers. And I don't know if the camera, because you're on my laptop. Again, I don't know how well it captures, I guess. But here are like sprigs of rosemary tied onto this crystal. Well, this image was off of someone's arm because they had a tattoo like this, or essentially this tattoo. And now I kind of want one similar to this because I thought, oh my God, that's amazing. So I may get that tattoo or something that resembles this. I don't know. It's a good possibility. I'm usually not one of those people that like to copy other people's tattoos just because I feel tattoos are important in symbology to that person, and what resonates for one person that won't necessarily resonate in meaning to another. So I typically would never do that. I've never copied anyone's tattoo purposefully. Having said that, you know, I'm not opposed if it's something that really resonates with me. I don't know if when I get a tattoo it will be exactly the same, more likely not, but it will be similar, very similar because I really like it. But essentially, anyways, I found this image and it was on someone's arm. So what I did, again, I took a copy of it, I blew it up because it was much smaller. I printed it in black and white. I did not print it in color. And I don't know if the camera is catching this, but what I did is once I printed it in black and white, I went back with metallics and other colors and I painted it. And now it looks so real, okay? Like I can tell it's real. I don't know if you guys can. Again, I did the same thing. I took the image and I glued it onto another piece of this mixed media paper because I did want it to have some depth and dimension and texture to it. And then I went with pen and paint and I outlined every little bit, and then I had to use, this took me forever, okay? That took me forever. Well, then the X-Acto, cutting it with an X-Acto knife took a long time because of all these little grooves from the leaves and the rosemary. But basically what I did is I went ahead and painted the board. Again, this is like a purple metallic. And I went ahead and added all the little stars and all the words, and then I put that in the middle. And now it folds like this, and it fits on the back of my Book of Shadows. What I'm planning to do, because this is so slick, there's a good chance that in any time that I move my book, it could slip out. So I'm trying to come up with an idea as to how I'm going to maintain this in my book. I thought about gluing it in or adding like ribbon, which, oh, by the way, but with the planchette, I plan to either hole punch somewhere and then attach a ribbon so it stays with it, so it doesn't get lost. But I thought about how I would have really liked to be able to maybe tie it in. So I'm thinking of either doing that, like figuring out a way where I can add some ribbons to my book and then just tie it in so it stays put. I've also bought some fabric, some really sparkly black very witchy fabric. It's kind of like the stuff that you use for tutus, but it's black and sparkly. And I thought about making a little bag and gluing it in to the book and then sliding this in. So that's another option. That's probably what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to figure out how I'm going to do this. When I do my update for my book, I will show you what obviously I decided to do. But anywho, this video is like 25 minutes long now, but I just wanted to share both of those things, the winner, and then I wanted to show you my page, and maybe it will inspire you to do your own spirit board or pendulum board, or maybe you could also do like a template or 2 templates or a couple of templates for tarot or oracle cards. You could do a board for your runes. I plan to probably make another one where it's a circle and it's a casting for the runes. I may make some paper runes in the same kind of style so that I can cast runes in there. So lots of really cool ideas. You know, your book of shadows, again, think about the stuff that you actually want to do with it. If you're making a book of shadows of just information, you know, good for you. But I want to be able to use my book. Eventually, when it gets completed, if it ever gets completed, I don't know. I'm working on it. But I want it to be more than just a reference guide. I want it to be a true magical tool. If I had nothing else, okay, if I had nothing else in that I could say I was moving and I had to move drastically, or there was a fire, God forbid, or something, and I, you know, couldn't rescue anything. At the very least, I'd want to be able to just grab my book and know that my book is usable, that it would have everything. Eventually, I plan to put a shrine in there. I'm going to think of a way to put a shrine in the book. I plan to do all kinds of things with my book because I want it to be an actual magical tool. I don't want it to just be this book that is just a reference book, because, I mean, as witches and pagans, we're book hoarders. I know I am, and I know most witches that I know are book hoarders. And we have so many reference books already. To me, my Book of Shadows is not just a reference book. It's more than that. It's me, essentially, and I want it to be usable for whatever I may need. So, oh my God, I keep talking. Anyways, I hope you guys have an awesome day, because this will probably be now uploaded in the daytime. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of my idea for this, and let me know if you guys have any ideas. And if you decide to make one for yourself, one of these Oracle, I'm gonna call it my Oracle. I don't know. Give me a name. Give me a name to call this. Okay. But if you guys decide to make one, please let me know. Or if you have an idea for something else to add, or another type of divination that you could do in this method, oh my God, let me know. Let's all take a moment and share so that we can all learn from each other and try things out. So I hope you guys have an awesome day. Blessed be, and goodbye. Thanks.